Plans to fill streets with one thing. Liberals freaking out as soon as they hear about it. By Robert Rich, Politics U.S. News for MadWorldNews.com. As if we didn't know this country wasn't headed in the right direction already. President Donald Trump just announced something rather intriguing. He wants to fill the streets with one thing, and liberals just collectively lost their minds. Liberals will continue to complain about anything if they think that it could hurt President Donald Trump. Sadly, that seems to be the case most recently after news broke of yet another private conversation that the president reportedly had with officials at the Pentagon. As it turns out, Trump wants to line the streets with just one thing, and it has liberals downright furious just to hear about it. According to top-level sources, President Trump apparently wants a military parade to hit the streets in Washington, D.C., although officials say that plans are still in the brainstorming phase and that there's really no meat on the bones. The Pentagon allegedly has their marching orders, no pun intended. President Trump's vision of soldiers marching and tanks rolling down the boulevards of Washington is moving closer to reality in the Pentagon and White House, where officials say they have begun to plan a grand military parade later this year, showcasing the might of America's armed forces. Trump has long mused publicly and privately about wanting such a parade. But a January 18 meeting between Trump and top generals in the Pentagon's tank, a room reserved for top-secret discussions, marked a tipping point, according to two officials briefed on the planning. Source The Washington Post. As one would imagine, the left has gone absolutely bonkers, with some saying President Trump wants to show a show of military force as seen in the parades of Russia, North Korea, or even Nazi Germany. It wasn't long before everyone on the left jumped on the Trump-bashing bandwagon. In fact, the Daily Caller even put together a compilation of liberal news personalities within it. Let's take a listen.
See a military parade in Washington, D.C. for President Trump?
You know, I don't think it's a good look for us. I think a lot of the world remembers the Soviet May Day parades, and they still see the North Korean military parades around Pyongyang. I think a better look for us is a free, open and diverse democracy in which everybody gets their say.
One in 2000.
Countries do that.
Oh wait, that's the Soviet Union and North Korea, isn't it?
Something like that. They have the marches and they
yeah. The heads, yeah.
The leader watches it, looks at them.
So the president, this is very autocratic, and who would ever guess this president would be prone to
light of all this,
we want to
any of those kind of military parades that I've seen in the past, it is all about authoritarian regimes, frankly, with maybe the exception of France.
I like the music in the background.
It's not our style. It's not the way we do business, and I really object to it. And I think it's going to cost a lot of money. So, what's really in it for the American people?
President Trump wants the Pentagon to plan a grand military parade in Washington. Tanks, marching soldiers, the whole deal that you usually see in North Korea. It would cost millions, but may cost more politically.
Well, as usual, though, they're wrong about one big thing, and it's arguably the most important detail that they've chosen to ignore. Come to find out, President Trump doesn't want this to just be a show of force, but rather a tribute to our brave men and women in uniform as well. He's since explained that he'd like to honor the military the way the French did in the Bastille Day celebration in Paris last year. President Trump flew to Paris to join in on the celebration. It was one of the greatest parades I've ever seen. Trump told reporters then. It was 2 hours on the button, and it was military might, and I think a tremendous thing for France and for the spirit of France. Now he wants to bring those same sentiments to America. The marching orders were, I want a parade like the one in France, a military official revealed. Although the left wants you to believe that the military parades are only hosted by dictators, that's just not true. Below is footage of the one seen in Paris by our allies. The French feel free to click on the timeline on the hour-long video to get an idea of what it's all about. We'll take a quick Well, it does remind me kind of like a Hitler movement. I don't know. I don't know, but whatever. During the parade, you see a wide variety of military personnel and vehicles, including soldiers, cavalry, tanks, and military aircraft. Just like what President Donald Trump wants. Of course, liberals are also whining that it will cost millions or even billions, which it won't, according to some, but it's clear that this is nothing more than another chance for them to obstruct and criticize the President of the United States. Well, the left is really trying hard these days to undermine the President. They're coming off as a little desperate and pathetic. If you can't show respect for the brave men and women who put their lives on the line every day to protect America and the rights this country affords its citizens, then you should probably just leave. I agree with that. Our military deserves our respect. I agree with that too. And it's about damn time we had a president who feels the same. That's also true. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.